Hello everyone, this is Yogita. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to study about nationalism in India, class 10th history chapter 3rd. So basically, what is nationalism? Nationalism is a feeling or a sense of feeling towards your belongings. Whether it is a state, whether it is a nation, whether it is your toy, whether it is your thing or whether your relatives. This is a sense of belongings. This is a sense whether it is love, whether it is hatred. These kind of feelings towards your belongings is known as nationalism. So here it is specifically described that nationalism in India, that means the mode of struggles, the movements, the patriotism is shown in this chapter. So first of all, the topic is effects of First World War. Why effects of First World War? Because this was the starting of all the nationalists, of all the modes of struggle, movements that took place after the First World War. We already know that India was not directly involved in First World War, but what happened, all the raw materials, all the equipments, all the spare parts of machineries were transferred from India to Britain. That's why India was indirectly involved in First World War. So what were the effects of First World War? Huge increase in expense. That means the act of spending money. Britishers were spending money in a huge amount. And how this money was collected? By income taxes. Income taxes are the taxes which are imposed on the working population of a country. If a person is earning, he or she has to pay the income taxes. These were increased once money was coming from there. And another is custom duties. That means custom duties are the taxes which are imposed on the imports and exports of country. Anything which is imported in country, there are several taxes which are imposed on them, and this taxes or these custom duties were also increased. Next is good prices were increased. How these were increased? Actually, what happened, due to some illnesses which were spreading at that time, crops were failed, and as a result there was acute shortage of food. That's why food prices were increased, and which was a hardship for the common people. It was a challenge for keeping pace with the good prices increasing. So now next is influenza epidemic. Influenza is a virus that has the ability to spread all over the region and kill thousands of people. Because of this influenza epidemic, 12 to 13 million people perished away. Now the next is forced recruitment. Actually, this is a process which is followed by Britishers, and in this process what was happening, Britishers were forcing the villagers, especially rural areas, just because of the lack of knowledge, that they were forcing them to join the army. And because there was lack of army, that's why there was forced recruitment practiced at that region. Next topic is idea of Satyagraha. So basically, what was the idea of Satyagraha? Why it was formed and who formed it? These things we are going to study about in this topic. Mahatma Gandhi. Now people were thinking that there should be a magician who could curl his stick and solve these all kind of problems which were they facing during the time of First World War. So what they thought that Mahatma Gandhi was in the form of a magician there. He returned from South Africa in January 1915. Why he returned from South Africa? Because he thought that India was more needed. India needed him more than South Africa. That's why he returned and given the idea of Satyagraha. What was the main objective of this Satyagraha? The main objective of this Satyagraha was to solve every problem with non-violence, with calmness, with politeness, and even suggest the oppressors to not even force anyone and try to find the truth behind the problem. This was the main idea for the Satyagraha. Then 3 successful Satyagraha took place at that time. Mahatma Gandhi followed them. Now Mahatma Gandhi was thinking that there was need to find the truth. People were coming complaining about the Britishers, but he didn't trust any one of them. He gone on a nation tour and found the truth, and he came to be known as the various problems which people were facing during that time. So he gone on 3 successful Satyagrahas. That means the Satyagrahas that were successfully did. We will read about all the successful Satyagrahas one by one. First was Champara Satyagraha, which took place in the Champara district of Bihar state in the year of 1917. And what was the reason and for whom this Satyagraha took place? For indigo farmers, and the reason was Britishers were forcing them to plant indigo. Why this forcement was taking place? Just because indigo is very short, or indigo is a type of crop once placed or once planted in a particular land, the soil loses its whole fertility. इंडिगो एक ऐसा जो क्रॉप है जो कहीं पे भी प्लांट किया जाए, जहां पे प्लांट होगा उसकी सॉइल की फर्टिलिटी जो है वहां से बिल्कुल खत्म हो जाती है. बट ब्रिटिशर्स वर just telling or forcing them to plant this indigo just because of export purposes. Now we know that this advantage of this indigo crop. That's why so many farmers were not planting in many conditions. In many countries there was shortage of indigo, but it was very useful as well. That's why export purposes this was very interesting and this was very beneficial. Kheda Satyagraha. Why this took place? This was happened in Kheda district of Gujarat state in year 1917. Why this was happened or why this was formed at that time? Because of the farmers. Farmers were asking for revenue relaxation. Why for revenue relaxation? Because at that time we have already learnt about crops failed because of many illnesses. So that's why their economic condition was not so strong to pay that revenue. So that's why they were asking for revenue relaxation. That means whether to minimize that revenue or to remove for a short period of time. Mahatma Gandhi went there and solved this problem also. Next is Ahmedabad Satyagraha. This took place in the Ahmedabad district of Gujarat state. So this happened in 1918 year. And what was the reason? This was the reason, and for whom this took place, for cotton mill workers. This is only the satyagraha out of these three successful satyagrahas that work for the cotton mill workers. Otherwise, they were for farmers. This is for workers. So this was for workers. What were their demands? Their demand was just increase in wages, just because of they were not able to meet their expenses. They were not able to keep pace with the rising prices of that goods for particular things which they need to buy, but they are not getting so much money or they are not economically so strong to buy that particular product. But this problem was also resolved by Mahatma Gandhi.